this video, I'm talking about a model and some principles from a model that you can use to apply to your coaching. Hi, it's Ruth Kudzi, founder of Optimus Coach Academy and Ruth Kudzi Coaching Limited. I am passionate about helping people live the lives they want to live on their terms through supporting people to train and develop as coaches and supporting people in my coaching business to build and grow their businesses. So it's a model that was devised by David Rock and it's called the S.C.A.R.F model. But we can use the principles really in everything that we do. So ultimately it comes from this idea that we either move towards something when we get a positive reward, so that dopamine buzz, or we move away from something when we're feeling in threat. And we know that when we're in threat response, it's that fight, flight or freeze, isn't it? So that cortisol increases, our stress levels increase, our adrenaline levels increase, and therefore our executive function, our working memory, our focus decreases. Actually, when stress levels rise, even it's cortisol and it's the stress, it decreases the effectiveness of our decision making, our working memory, our problem solving, our deep thinking, all of those things that are quite important when we're coaching and also quite important in the workplace. But when we move towards a positive response, we have that dopamine hit, it actually allows us to think more creatively. So this model looks at how can we go from threat to that positive reward for different elements of in our team or in our work. So it's called S.C.A.R.F, and the first one, S, is about status. So all the time, unconsciously, we are comparing ourselves to others in terms of our status. Now, if we feel under threat because of our status, we're going to go into that threat response. We're going to go into our stress response. We're going to go into our fight, flight or freeze. And that isn't very helpful. So if we are there, what we want to do is we want to reduce those feelings, or we perceive those feelings. A way that we can definitely get into threat response for status is if we get feedback. Feedback that we perceive impacts our status in an organisation, our status in a relationship. So this can be applicable to anything. So the way that feedback is delivered is really important. Actually, some people have gone on to look even further and say that feedback, can be, if it's self-reflective, that can be as effective as feedback that is from somebody else. It's a tonality, it's the way it's delivered as well. But how do we make someone feel good about their status? How do we positively reinforce? How do we acknowledge those feelings? And that will help people move towards a positive, in terms of a positive reward, that dopamine hit, thinking more creatively. Then we've got C, certainty. And all of us have got different needs for certainty or uncertainty. But when we're certain, then we free up our brain and our brain power and our cognitive ability to think. So certainty and structure help people to make decisions and actually to be more creative. But when people don't feel certain, again, they go into that threat response. And again, that can be like, it can build and build and build, I'm sure you can understand. So again, as coaches, we support people to identify how they can increase their certainty and decrease their uncertainty. And as CEOs, managers and leaders, we want to be doing this as well. Even in uncertain times, how can we create an environment and a culture with some certainty? So our third one is autonomy. That ability to make our own decisions. If we believe it's there, if we believe that we have got autonomy, then we make, then we feel good and we're likely to perform better. If we feel that our autonomy is being stifled, then that can impact our threat response and the way we operate. So we have status, certainty, and then we have autonomy. And this is really interesting because when people have autonomy, they feel positive and they generally work really well. But when they feel that their autonomy is being threatened, again, they go into that response. And again, as coaches, it's really interesting to explore because this need for certainty and autonomy can be in conflict. Processes and systems can help with certainty, but sometimes some people might perceive them as decreasing their autonomy. So it's about having open dialogue. I know that that's something that we do in the business, that people are like, oh my gosh, well there's a way of doing this. But it's like, but you can choose to change the way as long as it works within these parameters. So often this is about communication and dialogue. And then we have relatedness. People want to feel that they are valued and they have those great relationships. So when people feel that their relatedness, their relationships are under threat, again they go into that threat response. But when they feel they're positive, then it's going to be much more beneficial. And then the final one is about fairness and equity. Think about the workplace. You want to be treated the same as everyone. So if something happens, you want everybody to be treated in the same way, rather than this feeling that there might be favourites. And when you're feeling that there isn't fairness, there isn't equity, it can elicit a stress response. So really this model can be applied to everything. It can be applied to us as coaches. Within our coaching containers, are we actually making sure that we're not eliciting, consciously or unconsciously, threat responses in our clients? You know, things like letting them know what's going to happen, being clear on contracting, being clear on time helps with certainty. Things like always listening to them, making sure that they know that we're partnering with them. Things like treating all of our clients in the same way. All of these are really important ethically, but also for our clients' brain chemistry, for them getting the best result. Equally, when we're thinking about working with clients, we might look at this model or elements of this model, or we might listen for this model. We might apply it to team situations, or we might apply it to individual situations. So the S.C.A.R.F model is one model that we can use as coaches to really explore on a deeper level what's going on and to help our clients reimagine and change those stress responses into more positive responses. I hope you've enjoyed this. If you want to find out more about what we offer at Optimus, click below. And if you want to watch more videos, I would absolutely love you to. Thank you so much for watching. If you've enjoyed this video, I'd like you to like and subscribe. And remember to keep abreast of all of our new videos, just ring that bell and you'll be notified when any new ones come out. And we'd love to hear feedback from you. So if you'd like to post beneath your biggest takeaway, and equally anything that you'd like to hear me talk about, we're always open to feedback.